up, you guys? Welcome to the May 24th edition of NBA 3-Ball presented by Established to Run. I'm your host, Mike Gallagher. Get ready to preview the two-game Monday slate, do a little recap of the Sunday action, and talk all sorts of fantasy stuff along the way in 10 minutes. Hit the thumbs up and subscribe, please. Going to start with a little bit of a recap slash preview on the Miami-Milwaukee game. Talked about it on my little Twitter voices I did, but want to hit it again with a little bit more detail on the rotation. So, it was pretty much Dragic and none. That was pretty much the point guard situation. 15 minutes of Dragic with the starters, 15 minutes of none with the starters, which is funny. And then a lot of Ariza, Butler, and Duncan Robinson. Duncan Robinson played 35 of his 36 minutes with Jimmy and Ariza. I thought that was really important to note with how they want to structure this offense, how they want to structure their game plan. Spoelstra seemed pretty happy with how that approach is going to be. So good for Duncan. Very little Tyler Hero and Robinson, only 3 minutes of those guys overlapping. So Hero being tied to Duncan's not great for Hero with the way they're going to want to attack them with the spacing and all that stuff. So that's a little discouraging for me. Certainly we'll see a lot of Bam. Obviously your Bam Deadman minutes are going to be pretty much straight, but pretty standard rotation here. I thought that Ariza played more than expected. I thought he would maybe be lowerish 30s, but he got up to 33 plus the whole overtime frame. Interestingly, no subs in overtime. It was just, hey, we're running out. Dragic with the starters for none, and then Milwaukee played their starters. That was kind of interesting. Talk about the Milwaukee side of that too, but so it should be a pretty similar approach here. Definitely think Dragic plays a pretty good amount, but the takeaway for me was like Hero's in a pretty rough spot if he's going to be affected by Robinson, because Robinson is going to be huge for how this team's going to want to score. To the Milwaukee side of this, headline for me was the center minutes. It was all Brook, all Portis. Those were the centers. That was it. No overlap. Easy peasy. That's it. Other than that, Dante DiVincenzo, heavy overlap with Middleton and Giannis. That's great for him. If they're going to run him out there with Giannis and Middleton, that should be a pretty good indicator that they want to play DiVincenzo a pretty good amount of minutes. All 37 of his minutes were with Chris Middleton. All 37, crazy. So he should be in a pretty good spot. I was discouraged coming into it, but I take all that back. If they're going to run, Tucker is almost like Giannis's backup to fill minutes on Butler. I thought that, it was a pretty clean rotation for how they're running their point guard minutes with a lot of Drew, mixing in some Bryn Forbes behind him. Pretty clean there too. So, pretty straight rotation. To the late game for tonight, just talking rotation again for the Blazers. 8-man. You love to see it. Love 8-man rotations. We saw so many 10-man rotations on Sunday, but Anthony Simons and Melo were really key late first, but they came up big. In its canter, they filled up the minutes there. We saw a little bit of Dame, CJ, and Simons 4 minutes, in fact, so that's noteworthy for me to see a little bit of that. So that puts Simons on the board if you want to punt him a little bit. 33-15 rotation for Nurk, great for Nurk. I think Nurk's got 34 minutes in him, man. He was so big. Blazers, you love to see that 8-man rotation, definitely encouraging. Expect a better Norm Powell game. Nuggets rotation, pretty straight. We saw Millsap back up the Joker with a couple minutes of overlap, but other than that, nothing really too complex there. Monte Morris backing up Austin Rivers. 10 minutes of overlap with them, interesting. And then also we had 6 minutes of overlap with Monte and Facu. Also Marcus Howard had some overlap with Facu. So really kind of a thrown together guard rotation. We'll see if that changes in this game. I think it should. I think they should go bigger if I'm them, but I don't think Malone's will change it. Malone sounded pretty satisfied for how he wants to run this rotation out there. Most importantly, he noted that they can't let MPJ get mixed up into action. That was the big takeaway for me, is the Blazers really attacked MPJ, and Malone's fine with that. So for the way in which they attacked him like that, I think that that's a good sign for him. and he was happy with how he shot the ball, despite how he went from 10 from 3. So, yeah, MPJ is going to play a lot. I think he's got the longest leash possible. Certainly going to be in a good spot. And then Joker, man, mentioned it on the Twitter Twitter Spaces, sorry. 1 assist, 8 potential, so didn't quite over the top with it on assists, but should be better. They want him to shoot it like that, so yeah, we'll see what Joker can do offensively. To the basketball action and the Sixers, man, it took so long to put the Wizards away. They could never pull away for double digits. It was like 7-8, felt like this whole game, but get the win. Tobias Harris, the hero, drops 37. Is that including me? Monster first half, quiet second half. Joel Embiid certainly tied to that with foul trouble. Still finishes with 30. Thought he played pretty well. Very quiet 30 from him. Ben Simmons missed free throws. Really kept this game close. Still had 15 assists and 15 boards, as expected. And that matchups, he's in a really good spot for those categories. But, man, make your free throws, bro. And then the other headline, 10-man rotation, dude. Not cool. We hate these 10-man rotations in the playoffs for DFS. We saw Korkmaz sub in for Tobias at the end of the first. And then basically Maxey had subbed in for Curry after the injury. And then fills Korkmaz's minutes. So it was pretty much straight 10-man. Not cool, dude. Go away, 10-man. I think that may get trimmed down, but we could certainly see that their starters are going to play some good minutes. Wizards side of this, yeah, Bradley Beal. We saw a lot of him on Ben Simmons, and he did pretty well. 33 points, 10 boards, 6 assists. Pretty encouraging sign. I talked about his hammy, but looks good. 41 minutes, should be fine. Not a great matchup for Westbrook. Still comes up with an okay line. 16 and 14 assists for him. Not a great matchup. I wouldn't be too encouraged by him. Alex Len got hot early, still comes up with a decent line. And even Daniel Gafford had a pretty good line too, off the bench with 20 minutes. Pretty much avoid those centers, and obviously Embiid will feast on them. And then Bertans should be a big impact player. They're going to probably run him and Hachimura a bunch. They need spacing. They need size against the Sixers team as they cut out a lot of Howell Neto. They cut out a decent amount of Ish Smith as expected. Suns get the win here the top number 1 pick in this game was DeAndre Ayton. Awesome game, arguably his best game of his career, in my opinion, 21-16. Devin Booker also. I mentioned in matchups, it has to be the Booker show with the way this defense is structured. Comes up big. Starters played well. Chris Paul hurts his shoulder. We'll see what's up with him. Sounds minor. But yeah, just a monster win for the Suns. Lakers side, I thought they just straight effed up. I don't know what the hell they were doing with the rotations. His subs were bad. I can go on for an entire podcast on this, but I'll just say they got to be better. Yeah, that's all I'm going to say. Hawks get the win at the world's most famous arena. Trae freaking Young, 32 points, 10 dimes, 7 boards, game-winning shot, man. This is Trae series. I've said that before many times. I think he's going to have a huge series here. DeAndre Hunter, underwhelming in 22 minutes. Didn't look healthy to me. I thought John Collins played awesome, while Capella held it down. Gallo hit some big shots, played pretty well late with the Rooster haircut. And 10-man rotation, we'll see Okongwu probably get squeezed going forward. To the Knicks side, yeah, don't start Elfrid Payton. What are you doing wasting 8 minutes like that? But other than that, yeah, Derrick Rose played 38 minutes. No surprise. He's going to play a lot in this series. They're going to extend him as far as he can go. Julius Randle's going to play a bunch too. They defended him much better after he lit him up for 37 per game. Nerlens Noel shaking up a little bit, but still played pretty well here. While they went, again, pretty deep here. I was surprised to see so many guys play. While Alec Burks, man, my guy, I love Alec Burks, comes up big for me here with 27 points in 26 minutes. Expect a lot of him. So that's going to do it. Drew Dinkmeyer and I will talk the Memphis win and more for the pod on Monday. Catch you guys then.